Thanks for joining us for another edition of Weekend Winners, proudly brought to you by One Equine. For the equine athlete, we're back at Albion Park on Saturday night, a 10-race program, the Open Pace. That comes up as race 2, Delhi Road Drawn Barrier 1. Can he win? And if he wins, does he get an invite to the Rising Sun? Well, time will certainly tell. There's a really good trot race as well, and that features the return to racing of Gus. His recent trials have been absolutely sensational, so we're looking forward to seeing Gus back in action, but he takes on the former Kiwi in Masterly, who's shaping very nicely. It's a 10-race program, well-balanced program. There's something for everyone there on Saturday night. In this edition of Weekend Winners, we're going to chat with Neilson and Leonard Cain. Neilson jumps in the hot seat to go through his drives on Saturday night, and he joins us now. Matty, appreciate the time.
No worries at all, Chris. Thank you very much.
We go to race 3. That's your first drive. Leonard goes around in this mare's qualifying pace. She's drawn out. At first look at this field, what was the early thought process?
Yeah, she needs cover in races, so I should have to go back from that draw and look for a helmet to follow. And yeah, just hope she produces her best. She's been down on form a little bit, but hopefully she can get back to it.
Were you disappointed last start? Although finishing 4th, she got a really nice trip in transit. Were you a little disappointed she didn't finish off a little better in the home straight?
Yeah, definitely. I thought she should have ran second with the run she had. Yeah, she travelled well. Then the past the 400, she sort of started to struggle, and she just battled the last bit. But hopefully she can. It was the first time at the races for a little while, and hopefully she can put her best foot forward here.
She's a talented type. She's got 7 wins. She's got, over 50,000 in the bank, and she's got a PB of 54.1. Just with her last couple of runs, and I know there was that little bit of a freshen up, but do you think there's some sort of form improvement being indicated, the way she feels?
She felt very good throughout the race. It's just the last bit she battled a bit. Hopefully with that run can bring her on a bit, and she does need the right run into the race, and that. But she's been a little bit up and down this campaign, but with her best foot forward, she could she won't be far away.
Do you think this is the type of race that could generate good pressure? Will that help her?
Yeah, well, she needs that in her races. From that draw, she's going to get back, and just got to find a good one to follow, and then hopefully she can do it. Yeah.
Okay, well that's Leonard in race 3. Let's go to race 5. This guy's going to be probably the favourite or one of the major players in betting. His form lines are sensational. Apollo Dreams prepared by Mark Dux. You know this horse better than anyone. He is in the zone right now.
Yeah, no, he's racing really well. He's probably his last 6 starts. He's put it all together again, and he's trying hard and he's putting in. I mean, he has had good draws recently, but he's been able to, with his gate speed, make the most of it. But from this draw, it's going to be a little bit different for him. Yeah.
Okay, 2 obvious questions. Is he just a leader?
I think he's best in front, and but I have won a few from him. Coming off cover, he'll go. Yeah, he won going back a while. A Q red race there, dashing to the front, down the side, and he won a few starts back coming off cover. But he likes to roll along when he gets there, and I do think he's best in front.
Okay, and the other one, the follow-up question, is he just a miler? You look at his form. All of the wins look like they're at the mile. There's very few there at this distance range. But in saying that, he's got feature race placings in the Hayden last year. He was placed in the Triad as a 3-year-old at Group 1 level at this distance. So is he a miler, or can he run out a strong 2100?
Yeah, I don't think it runs. He's raced twice in the Hayden, placed 3rd twice as a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old. No, he can follow any pace. That won't worry him. The distance, but it's just what sort of trip he gets with it. Yeah.
Last week he was beating a nose. When you hit the line with attachment, did you think you'd lasted, or did you think the outside horse got you?
No, I thought he got me. I do think he got to me quickly, and that. But I do think he was chipping away back at him at the line, but yeah, just not enough.
Okay. His form in recent starts, he's been racing against some of the very best. So this looks a massive class drop for him, albeit he's got to overcome this draw and it's 2100.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think if he gets a genuine pace early, which there's every chance of it being that way, if he can get one to follow into, or if they do slow down, if we do try and put him into it, yeah, it's just going to depend on how the races run, is where we get to.
Okay, but he's clearly the best horse in this field?
Yeah, he's racing well. I do think Mile on the Buddha we've raced it a fair bit. I mean, we just beat it there one night, sat on its back, and only just got him down. And last week he had to sit outside us. And yeah, there's not much between them. And there's at that point, yeah.
Okay, well, that's Apollo Dreams. Let's go across to the other mare's race number 8. To be fair to you, again, you know this mare really well. She starts from the inside of the second row. How do you rate her chances?
She's got a place chance from there. I'd think she'll be buried back on the fence, which it'll probably suit her, whether she gets a clear run in the run to the line. I mean, she'll like to, in this company, she'll like to be held up. And yeah, she should find the line well. There's
no standout in this race, though, is there?
No, definitely not. It's the second division, and yes, but that's she's following one. Will probably take a sit, but but she just needs a bit of luck in the last 400 metres.
Okay, her last start at Redcliffe, time was good. Were you happy with that run?
Yeah, she went okay. I mean, it was she never really worked out for her throughout the race too much, but yeah, that's just the way she is. I mean, she just needs the right trip.
All right, well, that's to be fair to you. What about the last race? This is the Mayor's Open, Soap Opera. She was really good last week, and the key thing that stood out for her, the way she left the arm. She had the inside draw there, but she was able to run the gate nicely. Did she give you a good feel last week?
Yeah, no, she felt well. She got out the gate good, and she took the cover on the Lochinvar Jag. They run it very strong the last lap, and it was just too good for her in the run home. But the sectionals were very good, and yeah, back to mare's class. But she's got the wide gate here. Just where she ends up, she's pretty versatile. So it'll just be how it's run and where we decide to get to.
This is winnable though, isn't it, Matt? Like the small field back against her own sex. There's a few things in her favour.
Yeah, definitely, and there's no standout where there's no Chinchilla or Rolly Rainbow there, and it's an even bunch. But she's I think she's one of the better mares in the race. Yeah.
And just looking at that front row, I know you've got the outside gate to contend with, but those to your inside, they're all sort of go forward type. So the harder they go early, the better for you, because that might just set it up ideally.
Yeah, that's it. Miss Frou, Lulu May and Elegant Grooves, like they'll come forward and push forward, I think. And Victor Tivoli, it's the other class mare, won an Open recently. Is so I think the two outside ones are the best horses, but it's just what sort of trip we get.
Okay, which one is the pick of your drives on Saturday night?
There's not much between Soap Opera and Apollo Dreams. They're just both drawn no good. They're both going very well, but they're both drawn no good. But flip of the coin, whichever one. Yeah.
That's where your skill's going to come through. You just got to give them that perfect trip from their awkward draws, and if you get any luck, you'll put them away.
Yeah, hopefully that's the plan.
Hey, Matty, really appreciate the time. Best of luck on Saturday night. We'll see you trackside.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Chris. Cheers.
Leonard Cain now joins us to go through his drives on Saturday night. Leonard, appreciate the time.
No worries at all, Chris. Appreciate having me on.
Race 1, Rocks or Diamonds. You know this guy really well. He strikes a hot field here on Saturday night, but he's got a nice trailing draw. What were your first thoughts when you were looking at this race?
Yeah, that's right. Like you say, it's quite a hot field, but we're sort of drawn handy enough there where we can sort of not do anything and sort of hopefully lob handy enough to the pace and come with that closing shot that he's got. So I think that's sort of the way we're going to have to try and play it there on Saturday, just sort of do as less as we can and, be climbing over them late, looking for the gaps.
Okay, this race only at a mile. When you look at that front line, it's loaded with pace. They're going to really fly along here, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely looks like it'll set up that way, so that's what we're sort of got to hope for. And, like I say, hopefully there's a gap or two late and we can be taking them.
Okay, his last start, he chased home the Janitor and Ragazzo Di Tilly. They went that really quick time, a tick over 50. Were you happy with that run that night?
I was happy, I would have liked to got out a little bit earlier and sort of got on my bike a bit, but we got held up till late and he still finished off strong enough and probably in hindsight, one benefit that come out of it was probably a good confidence run, so hopefully we can take that away from it.
Okay, as we know with Rocks or Diamonds, he doesn't win out of turn, but tell me this though, 2 starts ago, he got nosed out behind Alta Equus. Did you think you'd won that day or did you think Alta Equus got you?
Oh, look, I'll be honest, I was 50-50. I probably was sort of leaning towards that I'd still hung on just. But I wasn't, I must say, I wasn't confident, I wasn't as confident as what Brian seemed when I come back in. So it is a lot different out there and, it's hard lining them up on the line, obviously. But, I sort of had an inkling that I'd won, but obviously hadn't in hindsight.
Yeah, it was a tough one. It was a tough one. Anyway, let's hope he goes well here on Saturday night in the Open, a Rocks or Diamonds. What about race 2? This is the Open. You're driving Deus Ex here. He's drawn inside of the second row, but you're drawn behind the likely favourite in Delhi Row. Is this a perfect setup in many ways?
I think so, like obviously on first glance at it, probably couldn't have asked for a better draw, we're sort of just sitting there, hopefully follow the helmet through strong and it sort of looks like, well, races like this always generate good tempo, so, and we know sort of Pete likes to roll along a bit, so hopefully we can sort of have the sitting shot on them and be a good hope there late to sort of outdash them.
All right, it's coming up 12 months since his last win. I'll ask this question, and you've driven him a bit lately, so you know him well. Does he still give you that feel that he's got that killer instinct?
I think so, like he's definitely, from what I've found, I think he's definitely a better horse on the fence. I don't think he's a massive fan of coming wide, but he's put in some really strong runs there where he's been unlucky and then a couple of ordinary ones where we've sort of tried to make our own luck and it sort of hasn't worked out. But I do think with the right sort of trip, which it sort of looks like he'll get there on Saturday night, it'll be very interesting to see what he can do with it because like I say, he sort of still gives that feel that he's got plenty to offer, but I don't feel like he offers it all the time.
Okay, what about 2,138 metres? If you're getting that soft trip behind the likely leader and favourite, the 2,100, no issues?
Yeah, I don't think, that doesn't sort of bother me, There was a few queries with it, but he's put in a couple of good runs recently and, I think that sort of takes a little bit of doubt out of our mind and then with the draw, I think that sort of probably supplements that. So, I'm not worried about it this week, put it that way.
Okay, so Delhi Row's the horse that everyone's got to beat here, given that he's got barrier 1 and his form lines speak for themselves. But when you look at some of these other key runners in this race and where they're drawn, would you be disappointed if you don't run top 4 with Deus Ex?
Oh, probably, yeah. I think you'd have to say I would be. I think he should be a top 4 hope, really.
Okay, that's going to be a good race, the Open Pays. What about this Trotters race, the handicap? Masterly, he's looked good, this former Kiwi. He's got big, long legs. He covers plenty of ground. Are you looking forward to sitting behind him on race night?
Yeah, definitely. It'll be it's a great opportunity to sort of get to sit behind him this week. So, obviously last start he was quite good and he's done nothing wrong so far. His trial was good, his first start was good, and obviously, his last start he really showed that he can mix it with him. So he should be better again for that, and it's definitely a big opportunity to sit behind him this week.
Are you expecting any sort of surprises, any tricks here with Masterly? Is the report fairly straightforward? There's no real urgency at the start. You just let him find his feet and away you go?
Yeah, I think sort of just generally as I try to drive them trot races, get away as smart as we can and, try not to bustle too much, but just get away safe and get away close and work it out from there. Hopefully be close enough to them when the time comes.
Are your main dangers behind you, those 20-metre back markers, Gus and Zealous Spur?
Yeah, I think it definitely looks like that's the way it sets up. So, hopefully we can keep him behind us.
Gus's trials, he can be a little bit hit and miss, but those recent trials, they've been outstanding. The times that he can run, it's phenomenal.
Oh, it's crazy, you know, like he's running times the paces are running, so it is crazy to sort of think what he can do, and the way he's been trialling, like you say, has been incredible. So he's going to be very hard to beat, but he does also have those little indiscrepancies. So
yeah, we'll see how it plays out for Garcella. Spurs probably in career best form, so that promises to be a good race. Masterly shaping nicely as we build towards the carnival. What about race 5? Can you get your thoughts here on Dr. Feelgood? 2 starts ago off a really bad draw. He ran an absolute ripper. Last time out, not so sure. What were your thoughts on these last 2 runs?
Yeah, like you say, 2 starts ago he was super. Run out of his skin. It was a huge run. I was really happy with him. Last start was probably a tad disappointing. I think Gail said she'd missed a little bit of work with him in between, and that had a couple of little hiccups. So probably write that one off. I think there was a couple of excuses for him there, but hopefully he's back to his best again this week with a good draw.
Do you try and take them all the way here?
I think so. I think that's our best hope, and sort of just try and keep him happy, and he seems to race good that way, so that's what we're trying to do.
Is the trip any sort of concern?
I don't think so. He actually, not that I've driven him a lot before this time in, but he really seems to have sort of stepped up to another level this time. I think personally, he feels like a horse. He feels like he actually wants to do it, where last time in, sort of just watching him, and from what Gail said, I think he sort of had a bit of a tendency to, throw it away if he could, and he sort of, touch wood, seems this time in, he sort of focused and wanting to do it. So hopefully, we'll see a different Dr. Feelgood.
Okay, so if you're in front, does that mean the main danger could be behind you in excess?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely looks that way. So, we're just going to have to try and be as smart as we can to run it the right way and get home.
Okay, race number 8. This is the mare's quali, the B division. Royal Princess. She comes up with a good gate. She's thereabouts. There's no standout in this field. Does she rate for you?
Definitely. I didn't think this race set up too bad for Royal Princess. She's a mare that I've been quite happy with. Vicky's done a great job with her. She sort of rarely puts in a bad run, and everything she's done this far has been promising. So hopefully, she turns up for us again there Saturday night, because I think it's quite an even field, and I think it's definitely within her depth. So we'll be looking to, I think she rates pretty highly for me in that race actually.
How aggressive do you want to be at the start?
She probably doesn't get off the gate as good these days, I don't think. But, I'd like to be as forward as I can be, put it that way. But, we'll sort of just see where we can get to and, try and make our own luck a little bit, I think.
It looks hard to map that race early.
It does, actually. It looks awfully hard to map. So, on paper, I don't really know where we'll get to, but hopefully we can get up close to them.
All right, the Mares Open is the last race on Saturday night. Miss Frou Frou is your drive. Can she lead and lead for a long way?
Oh, look, I'd hope so, but, these Mares Opens are always tough. So, she's racing well enough. Her last start, she was a little ordinary and we weren't 100% happy with her, but Darren and Karina went back to the drawing board with her a little bit, and, she's had a couple of hiccups and whatnot, so they're hoping that she'll be back to her best this week.
If she produces what she did 2 starts ago, she's right in this race.
Oh, definitely. When she's at her best, and like we seen there a couple of starts ago, she can run good time, and she's quite a strong sort of mare. So, I'm hoping she's back to her best this week with a good draw, and hopefully we can make something of it.
Looking at the mares to your outside, if you do lead, it looks like you're going to get a little bit of pressure, because there's a few that'll probably want to take a shot early.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely looks that way. So, we're just going to have to make our mind up at the time and, try and give it the best trip we can.
Okay. Which one are you most looking forward to there on Saturday night?
I'd have to say Masterly, to be honest. He's racing well, and, I like the horse, so we'll see what we can do with him.
Yeah, it's a good trot race. Race 4, number 7, Masterly for you. As always, Leonard, really appreciate the time, and we'll see you trackside.
No worries at all. Thanks very much.
A big thanks to our 2 drivers, Mathew Neilson and Leonard Cain. Hopefully there's plenty of winners for both guys there on Saturday night. Our first race getting underway at 5:19. The best bet comes up in race number 6. This is a good quality race, but but I think with the barrier draw, it really favours Fact Finder. I think he's drawn to lead here. Race 6, number 3, Fact Finder. He's in super form, and if he's in front, he's clearly the horse they've got to beat. It's Electrifying's racing in really good form, but this is a big test for him because he's drawn out in gate 7. So we'll find out a lot more about It's Electrifying, but I think Fact Finder gets the job done. Race 6, number 3, the best bet on the program. Looking forward to this card. If you are gambling this weekend, please do so responsibly. We'll see you trackside of the creek kicking off at 5:19.